would you get involved is what you should be thinking about. Are you going to make sure that at least Sunday after service, I'll post like 10 things? If you don't know what to post, from your notes that you had from church, put it there. That's how we can take the word. That's how we can take the word. So the church, they entrusted their gift to Barnabas and Paul, who carried it back to the elders of the church in Jerusalem. The church had the need, and they responded by mobilizing resources that met the need at that time. I've had several arguments, and sometimes it makes me, honestly, it makes me want to even appreciate unbeliever than the church. When the church will say, we don't need, let all the missionary, let them go and raise resources. Let them, where do they got that message from? It breaks my, even Mama is smiling. Where do they get it from? So you should not wonder why we have that growing statistics. They are not powerful than the church. Their gospel, whatever they teach, is not as powerful as the gospel of the Lord Jesus Christ. But they fund it with tenacity. They press it with purpose. If the church continue this way, you will discover that missions, evangelism will actually fizzle out from the church. In those days, even the children department were taught missions. They were taught to give. They were taught to go. They will hire boss. They go to mission fields. All the departments, choir, we hire boss. Why? Because they must be mobilized. Everyone must be involved. Everyone must be engaged. We have families that we ask us in the office in those days. I say, we have vacation. We remember Auntie Didi was packed the whole family. The current federal whatever. They packed with the children. They were in Gambia and they said, we didn't come here for luxury, and we took them to the feast. And the children since then, the two of them, since then, they have never stopped. Why? Because they were mobilized. They were taught. What are we teaching in the church? What is the church response to the global needs? What is the church going to do? Global missions and missionaries are in great need, and the church must be repositioned. Don't mind anyone who says leave missionaries alone. No matter who that person is, even if he's a bishop, he's antichrist. He's an antichrist. Because in the beginning, it was not so. Do you know how many missionaries that we have had reason to go talk to for them to rekindle the fire? Because some of them, in the attempt to begin to do tent making, the tent making has overshadowed their primary assignment. And I was in a field, and I asked the missionary that we were with in Burkina Faso 4 weeks ago. And I said, the first time we came here, you were doing more than this. He said, Pastor, don't let me deceive you. My children's school fees, how to eat. And I asked him, I said, so how much is all these things per month? And when he gave me the figure in Cephas, and we converted it back to to dollars. I said, don't worry, I will be giving you at least for the next 1 year. As a person, I can give you because it's so small that I can even afford it. The thing that make a man going back to withdraw, thank you, is something I can easily afford. We do mobilization in one of the campuses last weekend in Futa. And I spoke, and the students, in the way that you said, and students are making commitment. One said every 2 months he will be giving 200,000. And I said, I'm going to attach it to one missionary. So I said, take this missionary. 2 months, it's sending it. A student. And I said, how do you want to sustain that? He said, I do some business. And then for the next 6 months, I will just know that that's where all the gains are going. So don't say the people are not giving, or the people are not going, or the people is because they've not heard it. The message has faded from the podium. Agabus brought the message, they were challenged. The Antioch church is a mobilized church to emulate when it comes to mobilizing resources for mission and kingdom expansion. Antioch church was filled with believers who were fully engaged in God's mission. Be one of the mobilized church. That you are not waiting, and then we have a resource bank where people drop clothes, not rags. In our place, people buy Christmas clothes, they buy extra at Christmas and drop it in our Christmas bank, mission bank. And then we go to the village. And then you see people rejoicing as if you have brought. Sometimes you wonder, I say, only these singlets. We were in a place, and then we distributed some gift boxes. And then that child opened it. He dropped the remaining and ran, was screaming all over the village. They said, Fatima, what happened? Fatima, what happened? He said he's been looking for water bottle that in my house. My children, when they use now, they want to say, I don't like this color again. We'll buy another one. That in my house is like plenty. Somebody received it as a gift and was shouting everywhere. Water bottle. I have the clips. I believe one day we're going to show them all the clips. What about toothbrush? Among the Anufos in Togo, we were there. We distributed dentist material. And then you see people, they've never seen it before. They've never used it before. And it became like you have killed a cow for each and everybody. Prayer. So when they share all these things and they ask you to pray, don't take it lightly. That your prayer that you pray that God send help to these people, God can just, because of that statement, look for help for somebody from somewhere. Consistent giving to mission work and activities. Consistent raising and sending men for missions. What do you do with your vacations? What do you do with your weekends in 365 days? What do you do? You don't even need to go far and you say, I'm on vacation. Pastor, don't worry. Do we have an identified area in this Ikeja where the people and then you say, okay, don't worry. Around Fella Shrine, I am on vacation. At least once a week, I will see what I can do around that place. And you are going and you are praying. And you are seeing somebody in need and you are solving the problem. You are not just going to do one. I'm not an advocate of do one. Do all. Which one is difficult for you to do? I'm a missionary. I sponsor missionaries. Is it too hard to buy pencil and look for a child who is not in church, who is not a Christian, and begin to show love? A pencil. So why do you say giving is hard? Why? My children give. Sometimes I will ask them, I said, but you have some money the other time now. Why are you still asking? He said, no, that one is gone. I said, gone to where? He said, there was this missionary, or there was it. How they get to know? They have all kinds of children they have adopted, all kinds of, that me, I don't even know. Sometimes we're doing devotion and they are mentioning missionary, they are mentioning this child, they are mentioning somebody who wants to go for surgery in one field. And I say, she's just in the final year in secondary school. Do all, pray, give, go. Don't just spend 365 days without visiting a place where it matters. A place where it matters to God than every other places you have gone to. Do all. Can you help me tell your neighbor? The mandate is to do all. What is the all? Pray, give, go. Because we teach some things in the church that has made the church to begin to fold their hands and think it's for some people. Mission, the man is in church now, but not in our church, because our church is very, very far. But it's in church. Just because he came to listen to somebody that wants to sing. Let's be intentional about this role. Let me begin to do this so that we can close. The role of the church in mobilizing resources. Number one, the mobilized church inspires the people for kingdom advancement. Church and ministry leaders must inspire the people with teachings on mission, a deep understanding. That's why I love what we're doing here. It's not because I'm here preaching. It's because it's what I know. There's one church that has tried its best to mobilize us. And I just pray that we are sincerely mobilized. At least I know I've taught on mission and evangelism several times online, several times physically, and today I'm here. That's a way of trying to mobilize you and I. Can you clap for praise house? You will do that appreciation better if you yield to all these efforts. And then you make up your mind that before the end of this year, somebody must be planted in this church through my efforts. Is that possible? A deep understanding of every Christian identity and how it affects his or our role in mission begins from where? On the pulpit. Everything we must know, everything we must understand about mission, about God's mission, about evangelization begins here. So if the pulpit is lacking such message, then it's a dead church according to God's mandate is concerned. Number two, the mobilized church challenges the people to give sacrificially for kingdom advancement. Don't let the church become part of the church and church leader who says, let them go and look for. No, that is wickedness. You don't know. I just told you, like, came from some. Hey, you see some places. Who do you want to mobilize there? The people that are even living on you. That you are the one. So are those the people you say you want to mobilize? You see, It's high time we stop all these mission executives. Let there be mission leaders who has first-hand information. Maybe they will get it, they will have better understanding. It will be too hard for me to be saying that you don't need to send something when me have seen. When me have seen, we left Mali. I have to empty everything in me. I have to ask people to send money again to me because the situation of the missionary that I went to among the Bambaras is so pathetic. 3 children, you see stomach like this. They are not feeding well. I cried the first night I was there. I cried. I was like, Lord. So I just asked my team, I said, how much do we have? Just let's save money for fuel. Every other thing is coming down here. All our clothes, everything, we emptied it there. You can imagine. We must begin to change this mentality. That message is now everywhere. It's now everywhere. And it's a message that is actually taking men off involvement in the work of missions. We move on. The number 3 role. The number 3. The church the mobilized church equips the people for kingdom advancement. That's what has been one Sunday in a month. That's equipping us. What we have done today is to equip us with information. That's how you know a mobilized church. The church must focus on equipping the people for praying, for giving, for going and sending. Intentional equipping is the key to moving from enthusiasm. Number 4, I'm trying to rush because I want to wrap it up. My time is almost up. The mobilized church ensures that the people pray consistently for kingdom advancement. Prayer is the key to God's mission agenda and kingdom advancement. Pray earnestly. Matthew 9:38. English Standard Version says, pray earnestly to the Lord of harvest to send out laborers into the harvest. Mobilize church, disciple men, women, and children to consistently pray for the nations. Few months ago, one Saturday, we gathered children and they were praying. Oh Lord, the prayer touched my heart. You see children praying, crying, shedding tears. That's how to mobilize them. Don't let them just be mobilized for tinkle, little star. How I wonder what, like a diamond in the sky. Don't let that be mobilized for. Let them be mobilized to begin to pray, understanding the terrain, the global mission trend. Let them see picture of young children somewhere who do not have the opportunity they have. You are only building compassion. You are building passion, and you are building love for the lost world in them. Number 5, the mobilized church provides opportunity for people to go or be sent to the field. That's what mobilized church does. Oh, one department wants to go to field. Let them go. They are not being in church that weekend can never stop God from moving that day. This is part of God's work. They have only gone to represent the church in the field. If possible, let the church have people once in a month, one weekend. They don't have to go too far. It doesn't even have to be our own mission field if it's not very close. It's a global work. And let's do it. So, well-planned mission trips and field exposure that is tied to long-term partnership with the field missionaries boost mission effort. I took my daughter, we're traveling, so I took her, so I intentionally passed through the northern side of the city, where I know we would drive for like 4 hours without a church. So we drove, we were going, and at a point, and I said to my daughter, I said, did you see any church around here? He said, Dad, I'm about to ask. And then she was silent. Today, she leads the prayer for the nation. I didn't ask her, but that burden has never left her. She supports mission and mission children more than I do. The only thing is that my home may be huge, but when you talk of frequently, she does it better. We have to counsel. I have to talk to her and say, don't starve because of that. You can always take a portion if you know you want to do it. Because she was starving all her money for lunch. She was just giving it. I said, don't starve. But you can do a portion. You can just a percentage. In conclusion, if the church is well mobilized, it will serve as an effective way of mobilizing resources for global mission enterprise and kingdom advancement. In his words, Hudson Taylor said, the Great Commission is not an option to be considered, it is a command to be obeyed. The church must not only expect great things from God, but must also attempt to do great things for God. If the church is adequately mobilized, mobilizing resources for kingdom advancement becomes easy. God bless you.